The 7 levels of pets. Level 1. Starter companions. Goldfish. The humble goldfish represents the universal entry point into pet ownership, requiring minimal investment while teaching basic caregiving skills. First domesticated in China over 1,000 years ago, these descendants of wild Prussian carp were selectively bred for their vibrant colors and distinctive body shapes. Despite their reputation as disposable pets with 3-second memories, properly kept goldfish can recognize their owners, learn simple tricks, and live up to 30 years in optimal conditions. Their popularity exploded in American households after Carnival Midways began offering them as prizes in the 1920s, introducing millions to the concept of animal companionship through these undemanding creatures. Hamsters. Unlike the ancient goldfish, hamsters entered the pet trade remarkably recently. In 1930, zoologist Israel Aharoni captured a female Syrian hamster and her litter in Syria, and nearly all pet hamsters today descend from this single family. Their nocturnal nature and solitary preferences make them paradoxically poor companions for children, despite marketing campaigns positioning them as ideal starter pets. Their propensity for escaping enclosures has led to countless midnight searches and the invention of increasingly elaborate containment systems. Gerbils. Originally known as desert rats, these social rodents gained popularity in the 1960s when biologist Victor Schwenker successfully promoted them as research alternatives to mice and rats. Unlike their rodent cousins, gerbils rarely bite, produce minimal odor, and actively seek human interaction. Their ability to thrive in small groups makes them ideal classroom pets, teaching children about social dynamics while requiring a less individual attention than solitary species. These entry-level companions serve as training wheels for would-be pet enthusiasts, building the foundations for more complex human-animal relationships. Level 2. Faithful standards. Domestic cats. Humanity's most contradictory companion animal embodies both wild independence and intimate bonding. Unlike dogs, cats essentially domesticated themselves, entering human settlements around 10,000 years ago as agricultural advancement created grain stores that attracted rodents. This self-directed evolution explains their notorious autonomy. They chose us for mutual benefit rather than being selectively bred for servitude. Egyptian reverence elevated them to divine status, with the goddess Bastet bearing a cat's head and mummified cats receiving ceremonial burials. Their journey from practical pest controllers to beloved companions culminated in the modern era, where they've achieved unprecedented cultural dominance through internet memes and videos. Dogs. Where cats chose humanity, dogs were deliberately shaped by us over 30,000 years of selective breeding, transforming wolves into creatures uniquely attuned to human emotion and communication. This artificial selection created the most diverse mammal species on Earth, from 4-pound chihuahuas to 200-pound mastiffs, all belonging to a single species. Their ability to interpret human pointing gestures and facial expressions exceeds even chimpanzees, making them evolutionary specialists in cross-species communication. The oxytocin feedback loop between humans and dogs, where eye contact increases bonding hormones in both species, creates neurological connections that explain their unparalleled emotional integration into human families. Rabbits. Occupying the middle ground between livestock and companion animal, rabbits transitioned from food source to pet primarily through the Victorian era's domestication craze. Their dual identity creates unique challenges, with many owners unprepared for their complex social needs and 7 to 10-year lifespan. Despite their ubiquity as cultural symbols in everything from Easter celebrations to Bugs Bunny, their subtle communication style through ear positioning and body language remains poorly understood by casual owners. Level 3. Interactive exotics. Parrots. The avian world's cognitive champions combine the vocal abilities of humans with the longevity of tortoises, creating unprecedented companionship challenges. African gray parrots demonstrate intelligence rivaling great apes, with famous specimens like Alex mastering hundreds of words, basic arithmetic, and abstract concepts like same and different. Their emotional needs match their intellectual capacities, Many species form lifelong pair bonds in the wild and experience genuine grief when separated from bonded companions. This combination of intelligence and attachment leads to the dark side of parrot ownership. The destructive behaviors, self-mutilation, and depression frequently develop in birds kept in isolation or unstimulating environments. Their extreme longevity, many species regularly live 50, 80 years, means they frequently outlive their owners, creating generations of displaced birds in sanctuaries. Ferrets. Domesticated approximately 2,500 years ago for hunting rabbits, these mustelids combine predatory instincts with playful sociability. Their specialized anatomy allows them to navigate tunnel systems, a trait Roman soldiers exploited by using them to run cables through conduits when building encampments. As pets, their boundless energy and mischievous curiosity earned them the nickname cat snakes among modern owners. Their inability to vomit hairballs and unique metabolism, requiring specialized diets, make them medical challenges even for experienced veterinarians. Bearded dragons. Australia's contribution to the pet trade revolutionized reptile keeping by introducing a species that actively seeks interaction. Unlike traditional reptilian pets that merely tolerate handling, these desert lizards recognize individual owners, respond to names, and display distinct personalities. Their popularity soared in the 1990s when improved breeding techniques made captive bred specimens widely available, coinciding with children raised on Jurassic Park, seeking dinosaur-like companions. Their complex nutritional needs and UV light requirements teach owners sophisticated husbandry skills applicable to more demanding species. Level 4. Specialized companions. Ball pythons. The reptile hobby's gateway species combines manageable size with remarkable docility, offering the thrill of serpent ownership without the risk factors of larger constrictors. First kept by the Ghanaian royal court as living jewelry worn around the neck, these West African snakes entered the Western pet trade in the 1980s. Their explosion in popularity came through the morph revolution, selective breeding for color and pattern mutations that transformed utilitarian brown snakes into living art pieces commanding prices up to $40,000 for rare genetic combinations. Unlike mammals that imprint on owners, these reptiles never truly bond with humans, challenging owners to find satisfaction in providing optimal care rather than receiving affection. Tarantulas. The archetypal fear-inducing creature recontextualized as a pet represents a psychological milestone in the exotic pet journey. Despite their terrifying reputation, most species are remarkably fragile. A fall from even a few inches can rupture their exoskeleton, leading to fatal internal bleeding. This vulnerability creates an unusual caretaking dynamic, where owners develop protective instincts toward animals, evolutionarily designed to trigger fear responses. Their minimal space requirements and infrequent feeding schedules, some species can thrive on just 6 to 12 meals annually, make them paradoxically low maintenance despite their extreme appearance. Sugar gliders. Australia's arboreal marsupials challenge conventional pet paradigms through their strictly nocturnal nature and intense social requirements. These pocket-sized gliding mammals develop severe depression if kept individually, forcing owners to restructure their lives around colonies rather than single pets. Their specialized diet mimicking eucalyptus sap and insect protein creates complex nutritional challenges, while their ability to glide up to 150 feet in the wild makes escape prevention a constant concern. Their popularity exploded after YouTube videos showcased their charming pouch-clinging behavior, though many owners remain unprepared for their 15-year commitment and colony dynamics. Level 5. Prestige pets, horses. The ultimate status companion represents humanity's most transformative animal partnership, reshaping civilization through transportation, warfare, and agriculture before becoming living symbols of wealth and leisure. Unlike conventional pets integrated into home environments, horses require dedicated facilities costing tens of thousands annually, explaining why 80% of American horse owners have household incomes exceeding $100,000. Their complex social structure and herd dynamics create sophisticated interspecies relationships, with experienced equestrians describing conversations conducted entirely through subtle body language and pressure responses. The thoroughbred racing industry exemplifies the extreme investment these animals command, with top specimens selling for tens of millions and requiring entourages of specialized professionals managing every aspect of their care. Macaws. Parrot keeping's pinnacle combines extreme longevity with extraordinary intelligence, creating the most demanding avian companion. These technicolor giants from South American rainforests regularly live 80–100 years, potentially requiring provisions in owners' wills to prevent displacement. Their vocalizations reaching 105 decibels louder than motorcycles make them incompatible with apartment living and most residential neighborhoods. Specialized flight rooms or outdoor aviaries measuring hundreds of cubic feet represent minimum housing requirements, while their destructive capabilities, beaks exerting 500–700 psi pressure, capable of breaking broomsticks or severing fingers, demand constant environmental management. Koi no, Japan's living art form transforms ordinary carp into multi-generational investments, commanding prices up to $1.8 million for championship specimens. Unlike conventional aquarium fish kept for owner enjoyment, show-quality koi represent public displays of wealth and aesthetic discrimination, with dedicated enthusiasts building showcase ponds costing hundreds of thousands. Their remarkable longevity, documented specimens exceeding 200 years, creates unprecedented generational stewardship, with prized fish passing through multiple human lifetimes while requiring consistent care protocols. Their seasonal care requirements, including meticulous water quality management and specialized winter hibernation procedures, demand scientific precision in maintaining optimal conditions. Level 6. Professional grade. Monkeys. Primate ownership represents the uncomfortable boundary between pet keeping and surrogate human relationships, creating profound ethical and practical challenges. Capuchin monkeys, the species most commonly kept as service animals and pets, develop intelligence comparable to 3-year-old children while remaining fundamentally wild. Their 40-year lifespan combined with extreme intelligence creates unprecedented care requirements, including continuous environmental enrichment and complex social dynamics. The inevitable sexual maturity crisis around age 7 transforms cute, dependent infants into aggressive adults, explaining why over 90% of pet monkeys end up abandoned or relinquished. Their unique combination of human-like cognition with powerful instincts creates psychological challenges for owners unable to provide proper socialization with conspecifics. Servals. Africa's specialized hunting felids entered the pet trade through hybrid breeding programs creating savanna cats, but pure servals remain the domain of professional handlers. Their exceptional physical capabilities, 40-inch vertical jumps from standing positions and sprinting speeds reaching 50 miles per hour, require custom-built enclosures exceeding $25,000. Unlike domesticated cats selectively bred for human companionship over thousands of generations, servals retain hardwired hunting behaviors requiring pounds of raw meat daily in extensive territory. Their specialized metabolism adapted for arid African conditions makes them susceptible to fatal heart conditions when fed inappropriate diets. Venomous reptiles. The most demanding reptile specialization requires professional training, extensive licensing, and specialized insurance policies. Keeping venomous species like gaboon vipers or king cobras moves beyond pet ownership into professional herpetology, with keepers requiring anti-venom access, emergency response protocols, and relationship with exotic animal medical specialists. The liability implications alone restrict this level to professionals with dedicated facilities and safety systems, preventing both escape and accidental envenomation. These animals represent the extreme end of specialized pet keeping, where the margin for error approaches zero. Level 7. Living legends. Tigers. The apex of exotic ownership combines beauty, power, and controversy in a 500-pound package, requiring professional facilities and controversial ethics. Despite conservation laws, approximately 5,000 tigers live in American private ownership, more than exist in the wild, with acquisition costs around $2,500 being deceptively accessible compared to the $60,000+ annual care costs. Their housing requirements start at half-acre habitats with reinforced barriers, specialized night quarters, and water features, while feeding programs demand 10 to 15 pounds of meat daily. The physical danger is unparalleled. Their bite force exceeds 1,000 psi, and claws generate swatting power sufficient to decapitate humans instantly. Professional keepers require specialized training, backup safety systems, and emergency protocols for both escape prevention and medical emergencies. Elephants, Earth's largest land mammals, require resources beyond individual capability, explaining why only accredited sanctuaries and zoological institutions maintain them ethically. Their daily needs 300 pounds of food, 50 gallons of water, and several acres of space create logistical challenges surpassing conventional animal care. Their cognitive abilities, including self awareness, empathy, and multi generational memory, create ethical imperatives for complex social groups and psychological enrichment. Proper care requires specialized veterinary access for foot care, dental work, and geriatric management, explaining annual costs exceeding $100,000 per animal. Great apes. Our closest relatives create the most ethically complex ownership situation, with chimpanzees sharing 98.6% of human DNA. Their human-like emotions, problem-solving abilities, and capacity for suffering places them in a moral gray area between pets and persons. Mature chimpanzees possess 5 times human strength, despite smaller size, creating severe safety concerns that have resulted in catastrophic attacks on owners. Their 60-year lifespan creates intergenerational care responsibilities, while their complex social needs require chimpanzee companions rather than human substitutes. These living legends represent the outer boundary of private ownership, where ethical considerations increasingly outweigh personal desire.